Ladies and gents, well, what up, what up, what up? Ladies and gents, boys and girls, you are now tuned in to a brand new episode of Sportsway with Dray podcast. I'm your host with the most, the Hood's ESPN, Crystal Street's very own Dray Day. What's up, what's up, what's up? Once again, thank y'all for y'all continued support. Keep it going, keep it growing, keep it flowing. Subscribe if you haven't. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel, Sportsway with Dre Day Podcast. Hit that notification bell as well. So once your boy drops a video or episode, whatever it is that you want to call it, you will get a notification letting you know that your boy dropped some material. Y'all see the title for this. I'm going to give my NFL wildcard recap, and I'm going to give my divisional round predictions as well. Now, the divisional round, the wild card, some of my predictions came to light and some didn't. One of the games that really threw me a curveball was the Houston Texans and the Los Angeles Chargers. Me personally, I picked the Chargers to get that win. I just felt that towards the latter end of the season, the Houston Texans just was not their self. Like I remember when the season first started. And everybody and their mother was talking about Houston. A lot of people was talking about Houston. A lot of people were saying that how they had Houston possibly going to the AFC Championship game and all that good stuff. And towards the latter end of the season, Houston just wasn't their self. I felt that the Chargers, with the addition to Jim Harbaugh, Mr. Khaki Pants himself, I thought that might help the Chargers in some way going into the playoffs. And man, was we fooled because once again, Justin Herbert unfortunately couldn't deliver when it mattered the most. This is, I believe, his second playoff since he's been in the NFL. Now, we all remember a few years ago when they had that hell of a lead against the Jacksonville Jaguars, and somehow they wound up stinking that up, and the Jaguars came back and won. And now you have this loss at your disposal where Justin Herbert threw 4 interceptions in this game. Four interceptions. It's just downright horrible. Now, I will give Houston's defense their credit. They did get to him. They got 4 sacks on him. They definitely pressured him. But my point is this. When you think of the top quarterbacks in the AFC, right? The usual suspects is Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, and then everybody somehow just ingratiates Justin Herbert in that conversation. Just because he got paid so much money recently doesn't put him in that conversation. And after this loss, he's definitely not in that conversation. He's not. He's not in that conversation. So I wish people would stop trying to put him there because he might get paid like a quarterback, but when it comes to winning big games, he's 0-2 so far in the playoffs. So you can't put him in that conversation. So I'm sorry. But I am going to give props to the Houston Texans. They played on their home field and they did exactly what they were supposed to do, defend home field. And they won by 20 points. So basically, they won convincingly. So I'm going to give the Texans their props. CJ Stroud had an okay game. I'm not going to sit here and say he had a great game. Joe Mixon, who was on my fantasy team, obviously this game didn't count because fantasy season is over and I won third place, by the way. But yes, Joe Hickson played a good game. Mixon, my fault. Nico Collins went to work. One of the, I would say, underrated receivers in the league. But listen, Houston was ready. Uh, I should have picked them, but unfortunately, I didn't. So there you have it. My my prediction started off very bad, 0-1, right? But I bounced back. I bounced back with the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Baltimore Ravens. Now, the Steelers won the first game in Pittsburgh. Baltimore won the second one a few weeks ago. So obviously, this was going to be the tiebreaker. And not to my surprise, the Ravens won 28-14. So if you look at it, as much as the Ravens won 28-14, there was some opportunities that Pittsburgh could have won this game. They had opportunities. So I'm not even going to sit here and make it seem like they didn't because they had some opportunities. They really did. They really, really did. But King Henry, like this is the reason on why the Ravens went and picked him up in the offseason. Because now he's going to really run ruck shot because now he's in the playoffs. And I'm quite sure he is hungry for a Super Bowl title. King Henry is a future Hall of Famer. I think the only thing that is missing off his resume is that Super Bowl. But not to my surprise, I figured that Pittsburgh would lose this game. Uh I mean, my one of my last videos, I talked about Mike Tomlin being the NFL's Doc Rivers because he has all these winning seasons, never had a losing season, has won a Super Bowl, and hasn't won a playoff game since 2017. That's dirty. That's nasty work. That's diabolical for somebody that people always call a great coach. We throw that word great around too freely. We throw that word elite around too friendly, too freely. Do I think he's a great coach? I would say he's a player's coach. I wouldn't go as far as to say he's a great coach. I wouldn't go that far. If he'd had about 2 or 3 Super Bowls under his belt, then maybe I would have said great coach, but I can't throw him in that great coach category. I can't. Don't get me wrong. The not having any losing seasons, that's amazing. But your play like your playoffs, like your playoffs performance is shaky. It's very shaky. So I'm sorry. I can't say that he's a great coach. I just can't. And it pains me to say that because I love Mike Tomlin. I really do. But on this channel, you're gonna get the real. I'm not gonna do the sugarcoating. I'm not gonna be sitting here pacifying like everybody else. Like I'm the hood's ESPN. I'm not this ESPN on TV. I'm gonna keep it all the way 100. It is what it is. So there you have it. Then we get the Bills and the Broncos. Honestly, out of all the games that happened last weekend, this was the game that I was so confident the outcome was going to be what I expected it to be. Buffalo won 31-7. I expected a blowout. I expected one. I think that the Denver Broncos saw that, okay, the Chiefs didn't bring out all their big guns for their game. They figured, okay, we'll send a message to Buffalo, make it seem like, we're gonna ruffle them up a little bit. We're gonna have them a little concerned. But see, here's the problem. Buffalo was playing all their players. Josh Allen played, Cook played, everybody that was a part of that starting lineup for the Buffalo Bills played. None of their stars were out. And they went to work from the start of the game. From the start of the game, I already knew. I already knew. I will give Denver props. They did make the playoffs. I will give them that because I didn't think they would. When the season first started, I did not have Denver as one of my 7 teams coming out of the AFC. So I will give them props for that. Bo Nix has turned out to be a formidable quarterback. One of these young, bright quarterbacks. I would say obviously Jaden Daniels is probably the best quarterback from this past class. Then maybe you can throw Bo Nix in there because I'm not too thrilled with Caleb Williams. I think if a lot of teams had an opportunity to do their draft over again, Caleb Williams might have not win number one. That's just my gut opinion. But Denver should not be ashamed of themselves. If anything, they were sitting on house money this game. Nobody expected them to win. So they should be impressed with themselves. They made the playoffs. I mean, I don't do the whole moral victory type shit, but at the end of the day, they did make the playoffs. When I'm quite sure nobody expected them to, probably except their home base. Even if they probably didn't even expect it. So the fact that they did, kudos to them. Packers and Eagles. This was a game I felt the Eagles would win convincingly, and they did. By 12 points, 22 to 10. 22 to 10. Even if Jordan Love was 100% healthy, I still wouldn't have said they was going to beat Philly. I still didn't think that. Now, the bulletin board material for this game is, again, the, how can I say it? The not so great chemistry with Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown. Now, obviously, there's a clip going around where AJ Brown is on the bench reading the book. He's not standing by his quarterback trying to figure out some plays or how they can get on the same page. No, he is sitting on the bench reading a book. Now, I guess the reason why he's reading this book is to prevent him and Jalen Hurts from having I guess you could say, a T.O. Donovan McNabb moment on the sideline, because we all remember that with the Eagles in the early 2000s. They used to have their war words on the sideline. So I guess AJ Brown said, you know what? Instead of me doing that, let me just sit on this bench, read a book, and woosah. But I will tell you this though, whatever it is that is going on between them, they better get it ready. They better get it fixed. They're gonna have to get it fixed for this upcoming game. They're gonna have to. They're definitely gonna have to. Jalen Hurts only had 131 passing yards. That is not going to cut it against their next opponent. It's just not. It's just not going to cut it. It's not. Saquon did Saquon things. 119 yards. Man, listen, he could have had more than that. He could have took that touchdown to the house, but he said, you know what? Let me just take a knee. One of my cousins, who will remain nameless, told me that he lost, I think, he lost a lot of money on that because all Saquon had to do was get a touchdown. Like every other player that was in his parlay, you could say, all had a touchdown. And all he needed was for Saquon to get his. Damn, Saquon, you cost my cuz some money. A lot of money, too. I ain't even gonna say the amount, but you cost my cuz some money, man. And that thing ain't right. That thing ain't right at all. But yeah, Jalen Hurts is going to have to throw more than 131 yards against this next opponent because it's just not gonna cut it. It's not gonna cut it. It's just not. Next, we got the Commanders and the Buccaneers. Now, this game, I'm not gonna hold you. I actually picked the Buccaneers, and the reason why I picked them was because they was at home. That's the reason why I picked them. I picked them because they was at home. That was the only reason why I picked them. Uh, what a way to lose, though. What a way to lose, though. The Buccaneers, they fumbled on their last drive, and it just so happened it was on their side of the field. So all Washington had to do was just basically kill time, stay in bounds, have Tampa use their timeouts, and then that game-winning field goal, man. Like for that shit that hit the upright, and then go in. What a way to lose! What a way to lose! That was, I'm sure, that was a very heartbreaking loss for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Very much. Shout out to my bro Guru from Bucking Around podcast out there in Tampa Bay. My man be out there, at the games, tailgating, interviewing people, getting their opinions on stuff, man. Shout out to my bro Guru, man. Shout out to him, man. Real talk. Shout out to him. Uh, but yeah, the Commanders, man. The Commanders move on. I think this is their first playoff win since I think they said 2003 or 2005. That's their first playoff win since then. So, come on, man. Come on. Just amazing. Just amazing. Just amazing. Uh then we had the Rams and the Vikings. First of all, I had the Rams winning before the wildfire. Then when the wildfire took place, I was like, yeah, the Rams are definitely going to win because for me, they're going to use this game to galvanize the city. Then we come to find out that they move the game from sci-fi and they take it to uh Glendale, Arizona, where the Arizona Cardinals play. So then I'm saying to myself, okay, it's still a West Coast game. I mean, I don't know how far Glendale is from Inglewood, but it's still kind of a home field game. Then come to find out that, the Rams sent a lot of buses to Glendale full of Rams fans. So it was kind of a home game for the Rams. And they didn't miss a step. 27-9 was their victory. Shout out to my guy Darnell from the Playmakers blog. True Rams fan for that matter. And I'm quite sure he's on cloud nine because his boys is continuing in the playoffs. Sam Donald picked the wrong time to act up because these last two performances, which was against the Rams and then that last game of the regular season against Detroit, that's going to hurt his stock when it comes negotiation time because I think he's a free agent because now teams are going to look at him and like, okay, you put up these great numbers in the regular season, but that one game, those two games, we needed you to make some noise. You folded like a tent, and that's not good. That's not good. But I got to give the Rams their props. Their defense was amazing. Uh, Matthew Stafford, future Hall of Famer, played very well, very well. Williams ran the ball well. I mean, what can I say about Puka and Cooper Cup? Like, what can I say about them? One of the best wide receiver duels in the whole league. So those two dudes are gonna always get my respect. Always, they're gonna always get my respect. But again, congratulations to the Rams on winning their wild card game. Now let's get to the divisional round and my predictions. It's 4 games on the schedule. Only 4. 2 games on Saturday, 2 games on Sunday. I can tell you right now, one of these games I know for sure is going to be a landslide. And that is going to be the Kansas City Chiefs and the Houston Texans. The Chiefs are going to win this game. Who are we kidding? Who are we kidding? The Chiefs are going to win this game, and I believe they will do it convincingly. I think the week off that they needed was just what the doctor ordered, because now we're going to see what the Chiefs are really about now. Because a lot of people didn't like, their regular season run. Uh, Listen, I ain't gonna lie to you. Some of those games, obviously, we know the refs helped them and all of that. I get that, but I'm quite sure they've been hearing that talk. And now, come playoff time, they had their week off. They had all these players that was bummed up, healed up, so now they're ready to go. And I truly believe that they are going to put on a clinic this weekend against the Houston Texans. So I got the Chiefs winning that game. The Commanders and the Lions. That's going to be a tough one. Don't get me wrong. I got Detroit winning. Uh, I'm quite sure that crowd is going to be electric in that building. It's going to be electric. I think the Lions will feed off of that. You got to remember, Detroit is dealing with a lot of injuries on the defensive side of the ball, and they're still able to be in this game. I'm not saying it's going to be a convincing victory, but if I had to, I bet here and there, but I don't do the point spreads. I just do like the money line. That's who that's what I go with. But if I wanted to do the money, if I wanted to do the spread on this, I say Detroit wins by, I want to say they win by 8 to 10 points. I say the Lions win by 8 to 10 points. I respect Jaden Daniels too much. He made his mark already against the Buccaneers. He's sitting on house money in this game because don't nobody really expect the Commanders to win. But I do believe that he is going to put on the show. I think he'll probably have one turnover, but that's about it. But I think the Lions are going to win this game. Make no mistake about it. So I have the Chiefs and the Lions winning their respective games. Both home teams get the dub. On Sunday, the Rams and the Eagles. I think this game is a sleeper. And I just said this a few minutes ago. If the Eagles are not on their game, throwing wise, they are going to find themselves in trouble. Because I don't know, it might be a running game because from what the reports are saying, it might be snowing in Philly by the time this game starts. So if it's snowing like that, chances are it's going to be a running game. And we know Saquon is a beast. I'm gonna go with Philly. I'm gonna go with Philly. I'm gonna say that it's gonna be a nail biter. It's gonna be a nail biter. I don't think it's gonna be a landslide victory. Usually these West Coast teams come to the East Coast and they struggle and all this, that, and the third. But the Rams are prideful, okay? And I think they're going to make it a slugfest. I got the Eagles winning, and I say they win. hmm, I say they win by less than 6 points. Less than 6 points. Less than 7. In fact, no. Under 10. Under 10. I say under 10 points they win. Now let's get to the main event of the whole weekend. The game that we've all been waiting for. The clash of possibly the two leading candidates for MVP. And that would be the Baltimore Ravens and the Buffalo Bills. That's right. Lamar Jackson against Josh Allen. These are the two that is fighting for MVP. Now, obviously, this game has nothing to do with it because it's playoffs. But of course, you're gonna have those out there that say, if one of them lose, that's why the other guy should have won. See, this why the other guy should have won. You can't use that in this analogy. You can't use that in this scenario because it's a playoff game. This game has nothing to do with who wins regular season MVP. They just don't. I'm not gonna lie to you. This game here, I'm gonna go with Baltimore. I'm gonna go with Baltimore. And the reason why I'm going with Baltimore is because of King Henry. I think he's the X factor. If he can run that ball very effectively in this game in front of Bills Mafia, it's going to be a long night for that defense of Buffalo. It's going to be a long night. So out of all of these games, it's 4 games. I think only one team on the road gets a dub, and that's going to be the Baltimore Ravens. So those are my predictions for this upcoming weekend. I got the Chiefs over the Texans. I got the Lions over the Commanders. I got the Eagles over the Rams and the nail biter. And then I have the Ravens over the Bills for the divisional round. So that is my recap and my predictions for this upcoming weekend. With that being said, y'all hit me in them comments and tell me what you think. Give me your predictions for the weekend. Give me your predictions. Holla at your boy. Thank y'all for y'all continued support. It is a wrap for this episode. Once again, thank y'all for y'all continued support. Once again, subscribe to the YouTube channel. I implore y'all, if you haven't already, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Keep it going, keep it growing, keep it flowing. Share the podcast, hit that like button, comment on the video, tell a friend to tell a friend, all that good stuff. So in closing, y'all know how this goes. This has been another episode of Sports Way with Dray podcast. Catch y'all on the flip side. God bless. Peace and love. Your boy is out of here. Peace.